Good morning, everybody. It is the first event of the TRD Series 2022, my first track day of the year. We are back at Buttonwillow. Everything is the same as it always is, except it's not, because today at Buttonwillow is a little different. We are no longer running the track in the configuration that I've run it before, the CCW13. This time, we're going backwards. Today is round one of the 2022 TRD Series and the beginning of my run to get first place in the enthusiast class. So let's get right onto the track. Running Buttonwillow counterclockwise is a pretty unique experience. Not many track days offer it, and the course is long enough that there are a lot of corners that you think you know that are all of a sudden different. My clockwise fastest lap was a 2:15.5, and people were telling me that it was going to be about 2 seconds slower to run the course the other way. But the reverse course wasn't the only thing I was learning this weekend. I'd also made changes to the car. And they were going to take some getting used to. You see, I had put new, much stiffer springs on the car.
Okay, so this is the situation. The new suspension is great, but it is so much stiffer that it changes a lot of things that I hadn't really considered. Not only is it every time that I make a steering input to the car, that happens quicker, but all the micro adjustments. So if something's going wrong and I need to fix it, the time I have to fix something is now a lot shorter. So everything is happening quicker. This is now gone from a car that anybody could drive to something that really needs a professional's touch, which I don't have. So I'm gonna have to work hard on being as smooth as possible. And I need to get okay with the fact that I'm going to be slower today. That's just what it is.
So this was going to be a learning day for sure, but there's no better place to do that learning than out on the track. I had spun once in the first session and was a little nervous about going out for the second, but you know what you got to do, get in the car. While the new stiffer springs are objectively better, my knowledge of how the car is going to react with this setup is basically zero, so I'm back to square one and gotta do a lot of learning. It's all going to be about finding where the limit is, and occasionally to find the limit, you have to cross it. Once I had checked in with the organizers after my spin, I went back to my paddock to check the damage, and the situation wasn't great. Since the car is so low now, the bumper had caught the dirt and basically been ripped off. The tow hitch was the only thing that kept it on. Luckily, I had some zip ties in my kit, and it always helps to have a buddy or two. Before the next session started, everything was secure, cleaned out, and ready to go. That's what I love about series like this, and track days in general. Even though you're all there to compete, everyone is also willing to help when something goes wrong. It doesn't matter if you're a Corvette guy, Toyota guy, or a Honda guy. Everyone who's there is willing to lend a tool or a helping hand. So with everything zip tied up, the Yaris was ready to get back out there. Once I had gotten over the initial shock of the new suspension, the new alignment, and the new course, everything was starting to fall into place. The car is so much more mechanically grippy now, and the liftoff oversteer issue was pretty much finally solved. The Yaris has always been good in the corners, but now it really felt like it settled down after a corner and could attack the next one quickly. But it's not always a corner after a corner, and sometimes it's a straight, and I still only have 100 horsepower. So that was a very good session. I ended on a 2:14.2. I just went out there, started being as consistent as I possibly could, and every single time going by something, like the next time around, it's like, let's just try it a little quicker, let's just try it a little quicker, let's just try it a little quicker. And felt like every time that I was getting a faster lap, I was shaving like half a second. The biggest thing is that you could lose it all on the second to last corner on on-ramp. So I'm being very, very, very cautious about that corner. And I feel like the fastest lap I can possibly do is with me being risky there. It's tough because it is the second to last corner and you could do everything perfect up until there. And if you go off there, that's like, it's already the toughest corner that I'm dealing with. So, I don't know, maybe I'll risk it once. If I get lucky once, that's a fast lap. So it sounds like the rest of the TRD series guys are going out right now. Let's go take a look. The faster cars in the TRD series had their own run group this time, and I was really glad I wasn't getting in their way, because some of them are really quick. Maybe one day the Yaris will also run in the open passing group, but for now I can't worry about that because we have one more session that counts for the TRD series today. The session was going okay, but I couldn't really string a lap together, so the times weren't dropping as I would hope. So when the last lap came around, I had to give it everything I had. And I honestly couldn't imagine a better view for this final lap. Chasing this AE86 around Buttonwillow is one of my favorite experiences on track to date. So even though I had a car in front of me on that last lap, I still managed to eke out a 2-minute 14.1. Almost a second and a half faster than my clockwise time. Okay, so that was the last session that counts for the TRD series. There is technically one more session, and I feel like I could go faster in it, but I don't feel like I need a counterclockwise Buttonwillow time on the board. You know, this configuration is kind of just a fun thing to do today. So I think I'm gonna skip this next session, which means that we won't be out on track and we'll be able to check out the award ceremony. There.
And we'll start with enthusiast class. So enthusiast class, we had 5 drivers, and we'll start with third place. Third place with a 214.006 and an 86 is Adam Johnson. Adam Johnson? He's on track right now? Okay. You want to collect for him since you... Okay, awesome.
So that's a little tough. Turns out third place was a 1/10 of a second away. It was my decision not to go out for session 5, where I know I could have done a faster time. Now, that time wouldn't have counted for TRD series, but yeah, maybe there's something to be said for, you know, how risky you gotta be, how much you push the envelope, because that's what gets you that last 10th. And you know, if I hadn't screwed up the last corner on my fastest lap, I would have had third place. I know specifically I lost a 10th there. I watched it happen on the tracker. If that 86 hadn't been in front of me, but honestly, he was in second place with, you know, a 5-second faster time. So he definitely knows the line, and I think I gained a little bit of time, or shaved a little bit of time following him. Tough lesson to start the new season with. If I want to be winning first place, I got to be podiuming at each of these events. Fourth place isn't going to cut it. Well, so it's a rough start. It's a rough start. But I'm going to pack up and head home. Next event is at Auto Club, which is it's a hard track. I really want to get more confident with this car before the next TRD Series event, because the next TRD Series event is at Auto Club Speedway, which has like NASCAR walls. So maybe I need to go out to like a Streets of Willow or something like that before then and get comfortable with the new suspension a little bit more. All in all, just need more time in the car. More seat time, always good. So it means I'm going to be making more videos. We'll see you then.